Anthony Joshua carried a quiet but unmistakable authority as he sat across from Max Kellerman, discussing the upcoming clash with Jake Paul, a bout that has stirred both loyal boxing traditionalists and newer crossover fans. Rather than offering generic fight talk, Joshua opened up about the weight of reputation, the spectacle wrapped around this matchup, and the unique pressure attached to facing someone outside the usual heavyweight landscape. As Kellerman dug for nuance, Joshua confronted the doubters head-on and unpacked why this unusual fight holds personal significance.
The world, or a heavyweight champion of the world, you're an undefeated Olympic super heavyweight gold medalist, you're entering your physical prime, and you put 100,000 people in Wembley. So I get your argument. I have the economic clout. He's not coming in as partners. I should get a bigger slice of the pie. Let's have a realistic negotiation.
Known for blending analytical sharpness with the showman's edge, immediately highlighted the oddity hovering over the entire event. He told Joshua plainly that, by any standard, the pairing looks bizarre, a former unified champion versus a public figure who rose from social media. He pushed the question everyone has repeated since the fight was announced. What brought this matchup into existence? Joshua's answer became the foundation for the rest of their dialogue.
You beat a guy like that, you're not going to outbox him. If you're waiting on him and he's initiating and he's feinting you into counters and then he's countering.
When Kellerman asked what quality he admired most in Jake Paul, Joshua responded with measured clarity. Paul has managed to attract brand new audiences to boxing, despite entering the sport without an amateur resume. Joshua noted that Paul continues to take risks that many would avoid. He pointed out that Paul willingly walks into high-pressure situations and embraces challenges far above his comfort zone. To Joshua, that boldness and the enthusiasm behind it boosts the sport's visibility and brings in viewers who might never have paid attention before.
Fighting Jake Paul, does he remind you of any guy that you fought before? Or is this a unique situation that you've never come across?
Very unique situation I've never come across, but treating with the same respect that I give all my competition.
So you got the mental fortitude, he's got the mental fortitude. But what's the one best thing that you pride Jake Paul of having that maybe you haven't seen in other competition you faced so far?
From a physical aspect, I couldn't even mention it at the minute. But from a mental aspect, he offered me the fight. Normally, I'm offering people fights. He's told me, come and fight. So he believes in himself.
What does the word legacy mean to you, AJ?
Legacy, what does it mean? This is why I was actually asking someone, what does legacy mean? I don't even know.
Much of the build-up is focused on the physical disparity between the two men, and with good reason. Jake Paul has always been sturdy for his weight classes, but standing next to Joshua transforms the scene into something almost surreal. Joshua doesn't merely edge him out, he dwarfs him. His frame reflects a lifetime condition for heavyweight combat, and the contrast becomes striking whenever they appear together. Even with Paul bulking up, he simply cannot mirror the natural size or presence of a career heavyweight.
Jake Paul versus AJ, as though Jake Paul is the bigger in this equation. Not for me. Maybe for MVP, Nikisa, Jake Paul, but not for me. I've kind of marked it or titled it David versus Goliath just because of the size difference. Like, Jake Paul's a big guy. He is. He's 6'1", 220, probably fights around, the 200-pound mark. AJ is an enormous guy. Like, he's a big, big unit. And I think Jake realized that when they came face-to-face. I don't know if that's the first time they've ever come that close. I'm sure they've met behind the scenes. But I think there was a realization from Jake Paul, like, fuck, this is a big dude. It's a very, very big dude who isn't coming to play. Like, there was no play with AJ. That was a press conference that almost sounded like AJ versus someone in the top 10, where AJ's taking it seriously. He's answering the questions direct that Ariel's throwing him. There was no, yeah, we're here to kind of fuck around. It's going to be easy. Give me my money. Let me run back to the UK. This was AJ's like, no, we're taking this seriously. And that ain't a good thing for Jake Paul. It isn't. And AJ's that guy anyway. Like, I would never doubt that AJ would take this seriously. But for Jake Paul, I do wonder if realization is kicking in, or maybe he is just that delusional where he doesn't care. I do. And I've been sort of corrected by a few people who maybe know better, but I do think the Americans don't credit or rate AJ. I do think there's a bit of that. I remember when AJ did the rounds prior to the Ruiz fight, and there were a few people like, yeah, you're not that good. This was prior to
the Nikisa by Darian, head of Most Valuable Promotions, told Sky Sports that the December 19th event is being positioned as a global spectacle. He acknowledged that Joshua's experience is far deeper, yet Paul's unwavering, and some would say unrealistic, belief in himself might introduce an unpredictable element. By Darian even revealed that the matchup arrived sooner than intended. Originally targeted for 2026, the fight was pushed forward because Paul demanded it, and negotiations were rushed to bring it to life this year.
Will there be a limit for Joshua?
So there's a lot of discussion around the weight. Joshua fought Usyk twice. Both of those times, Usyk was 221 pounds. Joshua was 240 to 245. When Jake fought Mike Tyson last year, 227 pounds. I expect Jake will come in anywhere between 225 and 230, and Anthony Joshua has a weight limit of 245 pounds.
There will be those, as you're aware, that will look at it and criticise this fight. There already have been, haven't there? They'll say it's a real mismatch. What would you say to them? Are we going to be watching sport at its purest?
I would say it's much less of a mismatch than what you saw with AJ and Francis Ngannou, who a massive man, but relatively no boxing experience. I would say it's much less of a mismatch than AJ's 9th or 10th fight against guys who've been knocked out 20 to 25 times. Given AJ's pedigree, Jake is built for this. Jake is built for the big moments. So do I think it's dangerous for Jake Paul? Absolutely. Do I think it's also dangerous for Anthony Joshua?
Alexander Usyk has been blunt about his view of the matchup. In his eyes, the skill gap between Joshua and Paul is enormous. Usyk compared Joshua to a precision-engineered luxury machine and Paul to an economy model, emphasizing that their levels are worlds apart. For him, the disparity isn't just about exposure or popularity. It's rooted in craft, ring experience, and physical preparation. Usyk believes Paul is stepping into genuine danger by choosing to face someone with Joshua's pedigree.
Anthony Joshua is Olympic champion. Yeah. First. Jack Paul is, sportsman, YouTuber, showman. Rolls Royce. Yeah. Listen, it's I'm not like any otherwise.
Oh my god. Have nothing better in mind.
Yeah. It's just true. It's business, more money. Only this.
So we need to pray for Jake Paul.
Yes. I will pray Jake Paul because I want to fight with Jake Paul in octagon.
Yeah.
Do you think that Joshua should be fighting Tyson Fury next year?
I want this fight. Yeah, I fan.